My name is what? My name is who? My name is Still Talk Sports. Let's get it. This is Still Talk Sports.
As the video said, this is Still Talk Sports. How's everybody doing today? This is going to be a longer episode today. We're going to go college football in the first section, NFL in the second section. For quick recaps of both, check the TikTok. Link should be in bio. We'll add the link if not. But TikTok's Dylan Lesson, everything's TikTok Still Talk Sports, everything's Still Talk Sports. So check it out. But without further ado, looking forward to the NFL and NCAA this weekend. I think it's going to be a big weekend for everything. So with college football, what we do is we do top 25 and then a couple teams I like. But you guys let me know in the comments down below what you want, and we'll, continue that kind of run. And then NFL, of course, is NFL, and we go from there. So let's get right into it. Saturday, 11 a.m. kickoff, Texas Tech versus Utah. Utah's at home in this game. I'm just going to go with Utah based off that fact. I haven't watched a lot of either team this year, I will say that, so I don't know. But I know Utah and Ken Whittington always has a really good team and a really good defense. So I like Utah in the game. I know Texas Tech's going to have a high-powered, high-flying offense, and that could be trouble for Utah, but I think Utah gets the dub at home. And I just got, some boys on Utah, so gotta do that. Next game, Tennessee UAB. Should be a pretty easy game for Tennessee. Tennessee coming off a real heartbreaker last week against Georgia. That's what Tennessee does, I guess. But Tennessee's a good team nonetheless. They fell to 15, which I think is kind of weird. I think they should still be above Texas because I think they're a lot better than Texas, and they are. But Tennessee's going to be fine this year. Joey Aguilar's proved, that he is the quarterback to be running that team and running that system, and they're going to get back on track with UAB. So next game we got Oregon State. I think I forget what their battle's called, but I gotta look because I want to know. I know Colorado State and Wyoming is the border war. The Civil War. Okay, so we got the Civil War. That's kind of dope. That's actually very dope. We got the Civil War. Okay, but in the Civil War, we're going to go with Oregon, clearly, because Oregon State's 0-3 this year. They're not doing much. They're kind of, yeah. So Oregon, Dante Moore, Dan Lanning, and them got the team playing well. We're number 6 in the country. Yet to have a test to see really how good they are, but we'll kind of see and go from there. Next game, we got Florida State, Kent State. I'm going with the flashes. Just kidding. We're going with the Florida State. Seminoles. Got to go with the Seminoles this year. I think they're my dark horse. I know they're my dark horse team to win the national championship. I think they got the most experienced quarterback probably, I would say, him or Garrett Nussmeier, but Thomas Castellanos, veteran, played at Boston College, but now at Florida State, looking like every penny that they paid him in NIL. Gus Malzahn's got that offensive system looking really good and runs a perfect system for Thomas Castellanos and the rest of that team. So Florida State, man, is a force to be reckoned with in the ACC and the rest of college football. I think they're going to win the national championship, and they have the best chance from the ACC to do it. I think the ACC is going to come down to them in Miami. SMU might be there. Clemson, I think, is kind of watching away. Next game, great SEC matchup, Auburn-Oklahoma. We got Oklahoma number 11 against number 22 Auburn. Oklahoma's at home, so I like John Mateer. I think he's played really good this year. But I like Auburn. I think this is a game that Auburn's going to come in and win the game. I think they're going to be physically better. But don't put it past Oklahoma. I think this is a toss-up. Oklahoma, got Brett Venables, great defensive coach, and John Mateer's playing really well. And they're at home. So, in Norman, it's going to be a tough game, tough environment. But Auburn's been, this SEC ball. They've seen this more times than once. So, next game, we got Tulane. We got Ole Miss. This is going to be a battle, I think. I think, Ole Miss is ranked 13th, Tulane 3-0, though. But I think Ole Miss is going to win the game, but Tulane's going to put up a really good fight. Tulane's been one of those teams for the last, about 5-6 years now that are kind of that FCS team, that unknown team that always is really good and fights hard in a lot of games. So as hard as Tulane's going to fight, I got to go with Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin and Simmons are, they got that kind of 1-2 punch at quarterback that's kind of working for them. But, next game, Nebraska-Michigan. I'm sure a lot of Nebraska fans are going to be like, this is our game to win. Dylan Raiola, 829 yards, 8 touchdowns, no picks this year, which is great to see. In Lincoln, we're 3-0 this year. It's going to be buzzing. Michigan's only favored by 1.5. I'm going with Michigan. Sorry, my Cornhusker friends and everyone that I know that has been a Cornhusker. It's nothing against the Cornhuskers, against their football team. So I think Michigan and Bryce Underwood get it under control and turn down the noise in Lincoln. But, if Nebraska wins, I think it would be a great thing for college football. So it's a win-win situation. I just like Michigan. I like what they've been doing. I think Bryce Underwood, is going to get better throughout the year just because he's a freshman. He's seeing other things, and he's already a good quarterback. So we'll see. Next game, Purdue, Notre Dame. Notre Dame 0-2, Purdue 2-1. It's in Notre Dame Stadium. Notre Dame's, they're still ranked somehow. They're going to win the game because they're Notre Dame, and they're going to somehow make the playoff off some backdoor thing and whatever. I like Notre Dame. I'm just saying the bias for them always being this great, great team, and I'm just not seeing it. They haven't been consistently. When's the last time they won a national championship? Honestly. I don't care when they're in the national championship. That's great that they're in there, but they're not. The last national championship is the only one that I would say they put up a fight. When they were in the one with Manti Te'o and they played Alabama and they got stomped, yeah, that's what I think of Notre Dame sometimes. So Notre Dame, I think they can get back to the glory. I don't know if it's this year, but they're going to beat Purdue at home and move on. Next game we got is Temple, Georgia Tech. I love Georgia Tech in this game. Temple 2-1, which is going to be a good matchup, and Georgia Tech 3-0. I've been on Georgia Tech all year. I think Georgia Tech should have been ranked after week 1, after that beatdown they put on CU, because Georgia Tech is a good team, and they've always been a really good team. Haynes King is that dude. Dual threat quarterback, can throw, run. Kind of kills you more on the run game, but who cares if he's doing it? So Georgia Tech, that's a team in the ACC that I forgot to mention that is a sleeper. They are really, really good, really physical, really well coached, and always show up big in the big moments. So see what happens there. Next game, South Carolina, Missouri. Missouri at home, got to go with Missouri, but I like South Carolina. Seller's a great quarterback, but coming off that loss against Vanderbilt last week, I think is going to have them play with a lot of confidence and a lot of kind of want. So, let's go with South Carolina. I'm going with the Gamecocks, the real USC. We're going with the Gamecocks. I think they're going to come out, play really, really hard. They were 11th in the country. They fell to the rankings by losing to Vanderbilt, who's always a good team since Diego Pavia got there. So unsure really what's going on there, but we're gonna ride with it and ride with South Carolina, and they're gonna get the win on the road. Next game, we got Florida versus the Miami Gators. Miami Gators versus the Florida Hurricanes. Yeah, no, Florida Gators versus Miami Hurricanes. Florida, sorry Florida fans. Again, you guys just way up here, and then. Yeah, I don't know. Urban Meyer needs to come back, or Spurrier or something, because you guys just – DJ Lagway's kind of looked average at best this year. So I don't know if it's Napier. I don't know if it's the team. I don't know what's going on, but something needs to change there. But Miami, on the other hand, Carson Beck coming down from Georgia, getting away from Bobo, has looked awesome and excellent. It looked like he's been poised and know exactly what's going on with the pocket. I'm still not sold on Carson Beck being this, great quarterback, this star that's going to be great in the NFL. I think he's a great college quarterback, and, that might be the extent of it. But the thing I do like about Carson Beck is he played a lot of years of college now, and I like people that stay in college and continue to get better and grow. So that could help a lot there. So next game, we got Illinois, Indiana. Illinois, number 9 in the country versus Indiana, number 19. But Illinois going into Bloomington, which could be a hostile environment, especially when Indiana's good. It's always going to be jumping. But I like Illinois. I like Luke Altmaier. He transferred from Ole Miss a couple years ago, been the starting quarterback at Illinois ever since. I know Illinois might be back because their stadium has been packed every game. And when that stadium is packed, it's jumping and it's rocking, and Illinois might be back. So if Illinois is really the number 9 team in the country, they will go into Bloomington to win this game. But if not, Indiana's going to handle this team, and it's going to be over. I see Indiana's favorite in the game. I'm born in Illinois. I got to ride with Illinois. That's our next-door neighbor rivals. I got to go with Illinois. So riding with Illinois, Altmaier and them, if they want to prove that they're a perennial threat in the Big Ten and perennial threat for the college football playoff, they'll win this game in Bloomington. Next game, we got Vanderbilt and Georgia State. Diego Pavia, I think it's year 6 or something for him, but nonetheless, still a beast, still a baller, has been a baller since New Mexico State. I remember always watching him in New Mexico State and be like, I got to get this dude. I got to pick this dude. He's great. So Vanderbilt finally ranked. They should have been ranked after last week, after 2 weeks ago, but that's how it is. Vanderbilt now 20th in the nation against Georgia State. I love Vanderbilt. I think Diego Pavia is the truth. I think Vanderbilt, they got the right things in place, right system in place. The coach is getting a lot better, and I think not getting a lot better. They brought in a good coach, and I think that's going to help them move forward and be a good team in the SEC. That surprised a lot of teams because it's Vanderbilt. It's always been kind of, but that's a team you don't want to see if anyone. Next game, we got LSU versus Southeast Louisiana. South Louisiana's 2-1, so they're the real deal. But LSU's 3-0. There's not even a line on this game, so I'm assuming that this team is probably not very good. 2-1, so shout out whatever they're doing in FCS or whatever division they're in. But LSU's going to win. All right. I don't think I want to say much more. Garrett Nussmeier, 3 games, 3 touchdowns. And I've gone on record saying I like him as a quarterback, but 3 games, 3 touchdowns is kind of unacceptable, to tell you the truth. And especially if you want to be a top 5 pick in the NFL, is that what you're telling me? 3 games and 3 touchdowns? All right. Hey, you know what? But LSU wins the game nonetheless. So next game, we got Texas and Arch Manning versus Sam Houston State. Sam Houston 0-3 this year, not very good. After I think they won Conference USA last year or came in second, but nonetheless, they're having a down year. In Texas, 2-1. I don't think Texas should be number 8 in the country still. I've gone on record saying that. I don't think they're that good. Arch has not shown me anything that has been like, wow, that guy is generational. He's going to change the world. And I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback by any means. He's good and he's going to get better because, he's going to get film, he's going to watch, he's going to learn and all this. So there's not like he's not going to get better. He's clearly going to get better. He's Arch Manning. He's going to get better. But for the hype he's gotten, he has not lived up to any of it. He's played actually really bad. His footwork's looked really poor, which should be concise, and that's always a good, like, when he gets pressured, he seems like everything speeds up. And completely fair. It's his first time starting. I get it. I used to play quarterback. It makes sense. But he needs to play better if they want to be successful and win championships or whatever they're going to do. 8th in the country, I disagree. I think Tennessee's better than them. I'm glad Florida State's ahead of them. I think that's right. So last game of the top 25, we got USC, who's finally making its way back in the top 25 after Lincoln right there. Gets Michigan State. In SC, not really home field advantage because it's SC, unfortunately. But Jordan Mailata. Yeah, Jordan Mailata is their quarterback at USC. Okay. Or Jaden Mailata. Okay, so he's their starting quarterback there. So I like that. I like that a lot. I think, he was at UNLV. Okay, that's where he was. I remember him when he was at UNLV. I don't remember when he was at USC last year. But him being at USC is a really big pickup for them. I think he's a really good quarterback, and he's a winner, so I like that on their team. But on the other side, I think it's Adrian Chiles for Michigan State's quarterback. I don't think Michigan State's a slouch. I see USC favored by 17.5. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than that. I think USC gets the win just based on, ranking and the better quarterback and being at home. It helps a little bit. But I think Michigan State's not going to go away. I think this could be a three-point game. So really excited to kind of see what happens this weekend with these games. I think there's not a really set team in college football yet that I'm convinced is going to dominate everyone. The only team I've really seen that I think's better than the rest is Florida State, to be honest with you. I really do. So next, let's just dive into a couple others of my college teams that I like, and, we'll say what here. So we're going to start with SMU this week is in the Egg Bowl. We play TCU. Got to ride with my ponies. Haven't been as good as I thought they'd be this year, but room to develop and room to get better. And if they win the TCU or they beat TCU, that's a win for the whole season. It's probably going to propel them up for the rest of the year, and they're going to be on a high. So we'll see. Next game, we got my Colorado State Rams versus UTSA. wow, that's a tough game because UTSA is good. I think Colorado State is decent. I'm going to go with Colorado State because I got to ride with my team. I can't ride against my team that I went to school at. So we're going with the Colorado State Rams. Wow, here we go. I was going to do Wyoming versus whoever Wyoming played. But Wyoming plays CU. So I'm in a dilemma. Wyoming, my school. You know, I played with Josh Allen out there, Wyoming. And the Colorado, my best friend's brother's school. And a bunch of other buddies I know went to CU. I think CU's the better team than Wyoming. They should beat Wyoming. So I'm going to pick them because they should beat them. But Wyoming, I think, throws a wrench in a lot of things with how they play, the physicalness, the weird kind of football they play where it's just kind of old school run heavy and control the ball. So we'll see what happens there. I'm really, really excited to see, man. But that was college football breakdown for the week. We're going to dive onto the other side of it and go NFL. So we just flip it right here. We're going to go NFL. And let's get right to it. So NFL week three. Yes, week 3. Starts off this week with, of course, my boys. So for my boys, well, it's Bills Dolphins for you who don't know, who haven't been here long enough to know who my boys are. We got to ride with the Bills. And let me tell you the reason why. The reason why right here, this guy right here, 17, Josh Allen. The best quarterback in the league. Has been the best quarterback in the league for the last 5-6 years. I've been saying it. I can go on record saying it that Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league. But anyways, Bills are going to win this game based off of Josh Allen, clearly, and they're just a better team. I think Dolphins are kind of at a breaking point for the Dolphins. I think they're going to break and fracture and kind of rebuild or semi-rebuild or do something there because I think Tyreek's done. Like, he's just tired of that situation. I think Mike McDaniel's system, as I said before, is really good in spurts, but not good long term. I think it's good. You got to have that physical nature to be good in the NFL, and I don't think his offense has that. So, and then on the other end of the ball, besides Josh Allen, of course, James Cook with a new contract looked great this year. Keon finally, last year was a rookie year, so I'll give him some slack. But Keon finally looks like the guy I knew he would be because he's a GOAT. Defense played a lot better last week for the Bills, which I'm happy to see. Matt Milano being out sucks. We got a lot of hurt players still, so got to get them healthy on the defensive end of the ball. But Buffalo Bills, this should be a win for them. Get to 3-0. It could be one of those games they call a trap game, but I think the Bills are ready to go this year. I think they're poised, and I think this year they finally get over that hump. And the Dolphins, I don't know what the solution is to the Dolphins. I've never been a big Tua fan. I think he's what he is. I think he's okay. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's going to be a tough game, and it's going to be a big uphill battle if the Dolphins want to win. So we'll see. Next game, we got the Packers and the Browns. So them Green Bay Packers going down to the doghouse in Cleveland, but it's a Chihuahua doghouse. It ain't no pit bull or whatever they want to be. Green Bay Packers are going and handle the game, I think. But let me reel it back. I think I'm drinking the Packers Kool-Aid too much. Micah Parsons is that dude, LT 2.0, making it happen. I don't think it's going to be a walkover as much as people may think with the Browns. I think the Browns 0-2. They don't have a lot to lose. They're going to play hard. They got a good defense till they're at home. They got the opportunities to do things. I'm still going to go with the Packers because I think they're a better team, and I think they're just riding that high and ready to go. So, but Browns, don't be afraid. I think Joe Flacco has damn near 500 yards, so it's not like he's doing that bad this year. The 3 picks unacceptable, but 2 of those picks I know weren't his fault. And yeah, so go Pack, but Browns. Next game, we got Colts-Titans. Titans are at home. Man, I want to pick the Titans. I picked the Titans, I think, on my TikTok, but sitting here thinking about it, I'm still going with the Titans. I got y'all. We're going with the Titans. I think the Titans are poised. They have a really good defense. They're at home. They're 0-2. They got to fight. I think Brian Callen's finally going to let Cam Ward sling the ball around because his job's going to get – not Cam Ward. Brian Callahan's job's going to get lost if he doesn't let Cam Ward just sling the ball around and do what he wants. Titans defense really good. I don't know what's going on with the offense. It just doesn't look like – I was at the game last week, watched against the Rams. The Rams offense looks like it has flow and everyone knows exactly where to go or what to do here. And there's open guys. The Titans offense looks so congested and like no one's open and no one knows what to do. And it's Titans, I think, going to get a win at home. Just opportunity, AFC South matchup. They got an opportunity to do it. They're going to play hard and maybe make something happen. On the other end of the ball, though, Colts really surprised me this year. Not as much as I kind of think most people are surprised. I've always knew Shane Steichen was a good coach. They've always had a good O-line. And I've always known that Daniel Jones wasn't that bad. Go back to early videos of Dill Talk Sports. I've always talked about Daniel Jones. He's not that bad of a quarterback. I think he's in a bad system and a bad environment. And it's hard to thrive in environments like that, whether it's football, work, anything, life. So go where you're wanted. And now we're getting inspirational. Go where you're wanted and go where people, respect you and understand you. So Daniel Jones, Shane Steichen's offense, looking great, looking poised, making the right decisions, running the ball with his legs, throwing the ball well, no picks, no bad mistakes. And Jonathan Taylor's looking like Jonathan Taylor of old. Tyler Warren's balling. Colts are going to be good, man. That's the team in the AFC South that I think is going to, that's going to do something. I mean, Titans could get a win, but Jags and Houston, but we'll get to Houston too as well. So next game we got is Bengals-Vikings. Vikings at home. Both backup quarterbacks are playing this week. Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz. Bengals 2-0, Vikings 1-1. Vikings coming off a really weird game last week where they didn't look that good. To be honest, they didn't look that good at all. And the Bengals coming off Joe Burrow getting another, unfortunately, probably season-ending injury. So going to be out another whole year, which is a tough thing for the Bengals and just for the NFL in general because, you hate to see a star go down. And, but prayers up to Joe Burrow, though. Hope you're doing better. And same with J.J. McCarthy as well. So, but back to the game. I like the Vikings. I know Carson Wentz is the backup for the Vikings. I like the Vikings a lot. I think Carson Wentz is another one of those dudes that I don't know why he got benched. He had one kind of bad year recovering from an injury and then never got an opportunity again after he was having an MVP type year. So really weird kind of thing with Carson Wentz, but kind of excited to see him be able to play in Kevin O'Connell's system and play with the Vikings. I think that might boost the Vikings a lot. I think Carson Wentz is that good of a quarterback still in the right system. And unfortunately for the Bengals, as good as Jake Browning is, I think, he can do some things and he throws the ball well and makes things happen. I just think the Vikings are better. I think Brian Flores is going to confuse Jake Browning on the other end, and Carson Wentz is going to go out there and send that ball around and get some touchdowns. So we'll see what happens there. Next game, Steelers-Patriots, two battle of 1-1 teams. Really good game. I think this is going to be in Foxborough, but I like the Steelers. I think Steelers coming off a loss against the Seahawks. Aaron Rodgers is going to play better. He didn't even play that bad. His pick wasn't on him. And going off of things that I've said multiple times, does Aaron Rodgers have some curse on him or something where when he goes to teams, the defense just becomes shit and the running game becomes shit? Because the Steelers were predicated on the run game and defense last year, and now they got no run game and no defense. What the hell? Like, now they're expecting Aaron Rodgers to carry him at 41 years old? I mean, he probably could, but come on, guys. So, Steelers defense is going to figure it out. I trust that Mike Tomlin's a good enough coach to figure it out, and the run game will get going. They got the rookie. They got rid of Najee Harris, which some will say whatever, but, it's more power to them. But on the other end of the ball, Patriots, Mike Vrabel, of course, establishing the culture, getting a system in place for the Patriots that, hasn't been there since, I think, Bill Belichick, I would say. And you can just see the guys love playing for him. I mean, you look at Tennessee Titans when Mike Vrabel was there, the guys love playing for him, and they had a great team there. So, best thing for Drake May's career, I think, has been getting Mike Vrabel as well. It's going to help him develop a lot. But I liked a lot what I saw from Drake May last week against the Dolphins. Again, it is the Dolphins. I get it. But still, progress nonetheless, and looks really good and looks like he's poised and ready to go this year. And Patriots are going to be one of those teams I've said that's going to be a tough out every game. They're not going to give you a win. They're not going to just lay down and let you beat them down. They're going to force you to play hard and see what happens. Next game we got is the Rams and the Eagles, which is a matchup from the divisional round of the playoffs last year, which was the best game and probably the best chance for any team to beat the Eagles was the Rams. So Eagles at home. Rams coming off a big win against Titans. Eagles coming off big wins against Chiefs. I think they're, the Eagles, I think, have a little bit more high from beating the Chiefs, and I think the Rams kind of got a lot to prove from that game last year. So as much as I want to go with the Eagles because I love Jalen Hurts, I love Saquon, I think Sirianni is great, I'm going to go with the Rams. I think they're poised this year to make something happen and do something big. Stafford's really, really good, and McVay's really good, of course, but the Eagles on the other end are good. So I just think the Eagles are kind of coming off that Chiefs high and it beat up a little bit more as opposed to the Rams, so they're going to be able to play a little bit harder. But we will see there and go from there. Next game we got is the Bucks. Oh, well, shout out Eagles. I know I'm going against you, but shout out Eagles for my boy Mitchell Howell. Appreciate you supporting me along, brother. I know you've been liking all my videos. You Snapchat me now, so I appreciate you, man. That means a lot to me, and God bless you. Next game, Buccaneers, Jets. Easy pick for me. We're going Buccaneers, especially Jets got Justin Fields out again. Appears up Jay Fields concussion protocol. Terrible to see. Tyrod Taylor's going to be playing, which not a bad drop-off. Tyrod Taylor's the truth, but, been in the league forever now, so I don't know how much left he has left in the tank. We will see. But anyways, the Buccaneers are really, really good. Todd Bowles, former coach of the Jets as well. But got the Buccaneers playing well. Baker Mayfield makes the plays when he needs to. Emeka Egbuka, I think is his name. Really been balling out this year from Ohio State University, wide receiver US, people would say. But really impressed with them. They got Mike Evans still there. The Buccaneers are a team that's going to be really tough in the NFC South, them and the Falcons. But Buccaneers, I think, are going to get it done. They got it done last year in the NFC. They were a tough out last year. But this year, I think they're finally whole and ready to go and figured out who we are and who they are as a team, and they're going to go from there. So I like the Bucs in that game a lot. I like the Bucs to be a surprise in the NFC, but we'll see later in the year. Next game, Raiders, Commanders. Commanders at home, Raiders on the road. I like the Commanders. I think Jane Daniels is starting to get – he'll get back on track. Again, it's going to take us a little bit longer, a little slow and steady, just because of, that's kind of how the sophomore slump works. But Dan Quinn's a great coach, Prayers up Austin Eckler. It's horrible that happened to you. But Terry McLaurin and then Debo looks like he's turned back the clock a little bit. So that team looks really good. They got Krosky Merritt, the running back, the rookie, who's really, really good this year. So excited for the Commanders. Defense is still really good. And Dan Quinn, like I said, is a great coach. So I think the Commanders win this game and Jane Daniels starts to get better continuously. But on the other end of the ball, Raiders. Geno Smith, man, I've always been a Geno kind of naysayer. I've always wanted to pump the brakes on Geno because he had that one good comeback year a few years ago, and that was great and that was awesome. It's happy to see. But ever since then, he's kind of been back to who he was, which is, he's probably a starting quarterback, but a lower level starting quarterback. I mean, he's probably going to get you to the playoffs, but that's the extent of it. He's not going to probably win a playoff game maybe, but, he can do it. And some games he'll throw for all the yards, but it's the mistakes and the picks in red zone or in big situations that really hurts me for Geno Smith because he throws the ball around the field and does it well. But he's almost like a Jameis Winston type. But I would almost say Jameis Winston's a better type of Geno. So we'll see. Again, Geno's starting, Jameis isn't, so I guess maybe they know a little bit more than me. But I guess we'll see, man. I think Jameis balls out sometimes. He couldn't see, right? He couldn't see. So next game, Panthers, Falcons. I love the Falcons. I think Michael Penix Jr. starting to get more and more comfortable in every system and get to where he needs to go. Kyle Pitts is starting to come along. They're golf partners. You like that golf partners. They drive together. You like that kind of stuff because that's quarterback receiver. But Drake London, Bijan, of course, balling out. But I think the best thing about the Falcons that I've seen so far in this season is the Falcons defense coached by Jeff Ulbrich, who used to be the interim coach of the Jets. Falcons have looked nothing but really, really good on the defensive end. All the rookies that they drafted, Jalen Walker, James Pierce, Xavier Watts, and I think Billy Bowman Jr., I think are the main rookies, have all looked really good. Focus on the draft this year was defense, and it looks like so far that these defense players are paying for what they got drafted at. So excited to see them going forward. Panthers on the other end, had a really good second half last week. Could have come back and beat the Cardinals, but gave them too much of a lead. But Panthers are another team, kind of that cardiac team that you don't know what you're going to get from week to week, especially as they're still in their rebuild. But Bryce Young, I like. I think Bryce Young is he's starting to develop. Dave Canales is a great coach, but I just think the Falcons have a better team and they're on a better path. But honestly, that's a game that I could see being a toss-up, really, because Falcons like doing this thing where they look good and then they choke another game. So we'll see. Excited to see, and we'll go from there. Next game, Jaguars-Texans, last of the 12 of the noon slot. Jaguars-Texans, Jags at home. Trevor Lawrence been playing a little bit better under Liam Cohen, four touchdowns, 3 picks, 449 yards. But who I'm really impressed by is Travis Etienne Jr. has been playing probably really good. He's been kind of carrying that team on the ground. But with Trevor Lawrence, the thing I'm not understanding is why so many picks still. I don't understand how he wasn't a big pick thrower in college, and now he throws a bunch of picks and kind of what happened there. So that's one that I'm very curious about and don't really know. But nonetheless, I like the Jags in the game. I think Travis Hunter's continuing to get better, and the Jags kind of look like a really decent team this year. I think Liam Cohen's getting better. They were decent for a couple of years and then kind of went away and then back. So it's just getting over that hump with the Jaguars. And then on the other end of the ball, the Texans, C.J. Stroud has not impressed at all this year or last year. He's kind of been slumping since his first year. And honestly, I could attribute a lot of it to the offensive line. I've been there. It's tough to do anything when you have no line. But didn't have no line really his rookie year too. But maybe it's catching up with him. So I think the Texans got some stuff to work on, especially being 0-2. D'Amico Ryans will get that team right because, they're the Texans. But just kind of seems like it's a tough year for them and a little in their year. So we'll see what happens. I like the Jags in that game. But next game, we got Broncos-Chargers, AFC West matchup. Really, really good game here. Chargers at home, which is why I like the Chargers. So let me start with the Chargers because I like the Chargers. Justin Herbert, man, he's got that Madison beer luck. He's playing. He's balling out. He's showing why he wants to be a top 5 quarterback in the league this year. And if he continues to do it, I don't see there's any problem with it. And with Justin Herbert, the Jim Harbaugh addition is extremely helping him and completely turned him into a different quarterback. Also, I think Jim Harbaugh's realizing what he has at quarterback. So he's finally like, hey, let's not be a running team. Let's let Justin Herbert sling that ball around and win some games. Quentin Johnston on the seems like he got over the drop. Seems like his hands have gotten a lot better. Been dominating this year. And Keenan Allen's another one. Everyone thought Keenan Allen was washed. No, he was just on the Chicago Bears, and I can say that because I love the Bears. But yeah, that's what we do. Keenan Allen now is good again, and of course they got Ladd McConkers, who hasn't even played that good this year, but they still got Ladd McConkey out there. So tough loss on the defense for Khalil Mack. That was a nasty injury that I saw. His arm was not the right way. But I like the Chargers. I think they're a good team this year. I think they're going to be that sleeper team in the AFC that kind of makes some noise. But on the other end of the ball, the Broncos, of course, are still a really, really good team. Have probably the top defense in the NFL. 1 or 2 behind the Seahawks. You can debate, whatever. Bo Nix, I think, still needs to develop a little bit. It seems like he's kind of getting in that sophomore slump, which we see to happen with a lot of quarterbacks, which is why it wasn't as high on the Broncos this year as a lot of other people, just because that sophomore slump will happen. It's tough to beat it. I mean, we've seen it with a lot of quarterbacks pretty much. So, especially when they have a good year one, you're gonna see a little bit of comeback and then build back up. But Broncos defense is immaculate. Benito makes plays. Cortland Sutton's still out there. Troy Franklin has kind of established himself as that number 2 behind Cortland Sutton, which is no surprise because he played with Bo Nix, so that helps a lot. But the Broncos, I think this is a toss-up of the week too. This could be a great game. It's going to be a great game. I said the main toss-up of the week is the Lions Ravens on the Monday night game, but this is another one that's going to be a really good game. Broncos fans, you should hope you win this game. Chargers fans, you should hope you win. But Broncos, I think, need it more than the Chargers. So we're going to see, but we're diving into the next game, which is probably the easiest pick of the week for me. Seahawks Saints. We're going with the Seahawks. Sam Darnold playing good. Jackson Smith-Njigba showing who he is and why. Again, Ohio State is wide receiver U. But Seahawks, that defense, that secondary is elite. And I think a team that's going to make some noise going forward. They lost a tough one week 1 to the 49ers. Should have been a game they could have won. Could have been 2-0. But Seahawks are a team that I wouldn't want to see in the NFC going forward. I think, Buccaneers are like dark horse. They're like a little bit of darker horse as the Seahawks. But Sam Darnold has proved that he's continuing up. The picks, only 2 touchdowns, but 2 picks. But going to make it happen and continue better. Next game, Bears and I guess let me go back to the game. The Saints. On the Saints end of the ball, it's tough. They're just in a rebuild year. Kellen Moore, trying to get that team right, and Spencer Rattler. unfortunately just hasn't won a lot of games in his career, but hasn't been helped by his system that he's been in or the team he's been on. So I will give the Saints a shout-out, though, for my boy Carl Granderson. Played with you at University of Wyoming, brother. Glad to see you leading the league in sacks and balling out. It's awesome to see, and really proud of you, man, and keep doing you. So Carl Granderson, number 96 on the Saints. Check him out. Next game, Cowboys-Bears. Who do you think I'm going with, guys? Who do you think I'm going with? I used to be a Cowboy at University of Wyoming, but I am a Chicago Bear. Was born in Chicago. I got to ride with them. I mean, they're 0-2. They're at home. Backs against the wall. They got to win the game. That's all I'm going to say. Caleb Williams has not played that bad. He's actually shown improvement since last year. He's actually made plays within rhythm, within the timing, within the system of the offense. So I don't hate where Caleb is, to be honest with you. The defense, on the other end, I hate where they are. The Bears are always a team that have been predicated on defense, and now the defense just can't do anything. It hurts that Jalen Johnson's out. It hurts that Kyler Gordon out. It hurts that our corners are out, our best players. But yeah, that defense has been killing us. The offense, Rome Odunze seems like a bright spot. Shout out Rome. DJ Moore, it seems like his efforts kind of dwindling a little bit. Maybe he's starting to see writing on the wall stuff. I don't know. But I trust Ben Johnson to get it done. Cowboys are the Cowboys. I think, Dak Prescott on the other side of the ball is playing really well, and Dak Prescott seems like he's getting healthy again. CeeDee Lamb, of course, 16 receptions, 222, and Javonte Williams kind of bringing it back, 33 carries, 151, 3 touchdowns this year. So shout out Javonte Williams, really reviving your career in Dallas and having a good year. That's awesome to see. But Dak, it seems like he's getting healthier week by week, trusting his health more, trusting his receivers, trusting his legs more again, and kind of trusting that push in the arm strength. So been playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year, as he always has been. I think he's always been one of the best quarterbacks at the line of scrimmage as well, kind of checking in and out, changing plays and all that. So, but the Dallas defense, just like the Bears defense, is very questionable at best, But Matt Eberflus revenge game, I don't know if it's a revenge game for the Bears or for the Cowboys, probably both. But I'm going to go with the Bears. We're at home, backs against the wall, KO's feeling good. It's their time. Come on. Next game, Cards, 49ers. Both 2-0 teams. Surprisingly, Cards are 2-0, but, two really good wins. Kyler's been playing well this year, playing within himself, not making the wrong play and turn the ball over when he needs to. But on the other the ball, it seems like the 49ers might be back, and they're at home. Christian McCaffrey looks healthy again, looks great. Ricky Parasol's kind of showing up, and 49ers look like that team, that perennial team that was in the NFC for all those years. Defense been playing a lot better. So, I like the 49ers just because they're at home in a divisional matchup. But again, divisional matchup means they go either way. So the Cardinals wouldn't surprise me at all if they won. Excuse me, especially with the weapons they got. They got, Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, staying up CSU. DeMarcado, of course, they still have James Conner out there, Trey Benson, Michael Wilson, couple to name that. And I think Jonathan Gannon's a great coach. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a toss-up and a good game. Sunday night game, kind of Giants, Chiefs, 0-2, 0-2. Surprising that I'm saying the Chiefs are 0-2. Giants, but nonetheless, Russell Wilson had a great game last weekend. I think bought himself some time to play a little bit longer because of how well he played. Malik Neighbors is the truth, has been the truth. That dude is a menace. He's really good, and he's a baller at football. Giants defense looks actually pretty good. Not last week based on what they did with the Dallas Cowboys, but has been a decent defense. Don't know what's going on with the Giants. Russell played so good till that last play and then threw one of the worst picks I've probably seen in the last 5 years. But I don't know. I think the Giants, for some reason, are a decent team. But I'm not picking against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs with their backs against the wall 0-2 against the Giants. I'm picking the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to win the game. Mahomes is going to get them on track. Whether the line's bad, his weapons aren't there, they're going to come back eventually. Travis Kelce got to figure it out. He should have that engagement luck. Like, come on, bro. You just got engaged. You should have that luck. But, yeah, the defense got to play a little better. Chris Jones kind of hasn't been as impactful as he wants to be and stuff like that. But, yeah, I'm not picking against him against the Giants. So, last game of week 3. We got Monday Night Football, which is an awesome game. We got Ravens at home versus the Detroit Lions. Detroit coming off a smackdown of the Bears, 52-21, and then the Ravens coming off kind of a smackdown of the Browns as well. Lamar had one of his best games. Derrick Henry played horrible. That's all I'll say. Don't know what happened to Derrick Henry last week, but played horrible. But This is for sure Dill's toss of the week. I think this game could go either way. Ravens being at home makes me believe them a little bit more, but also the Lions, they lost to the Packers when the Packers were riding a high that not a lot of teams can feel, which it was going to happen either way. But the Lions last week, again, proved why they're a good team, why they've been good for the last couple of years. Jared Goff is no slouch. 560 yards this year, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick. That's the best stats I've seen on this list so far that I've been reading off ESPN. So whether you want to say Jared Goff is what he is or this or that, Jared Goff puts up stats and he wins games when you need him to. So don't sleep on Jared Goff and the Lions. I think the Lions are for sure going to be all right. Dan Campbell's been that system, and he established a culture there that coordinators leaving isn't going to change because he has the culture set, just like Ravens have, Bills, all these good teams have, and I think that's what the Lions are starting to develop there, which Ben Johnson will get to in Chicago. I mean, people act like Dan Campbell's first year in Detroit was all happy and stuff. It takes about a year to establish a culture, establish a blueprint, establish a way to win games, establish that winning mindset that the Bears need. But going back to the Lions-Ravens, Derrick Henry's not going to have that bad of a game yet. Again, Lamar Jackson played great last week, 4 touchdowns, no picks, really looked in control of the offense when Derrick Henry wasn't there, and of course, Zay Flowers. But on the other side of the ball, Jared Goff, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra, Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive end, of course, Jahmyr Gibbs, Dave Montgomery, Sam Laporta. That's a really, really good team. And if the Lions, I think this is going to be a statement game almost for the Lions, which is kind of why I want to go with the Lions and lean more towards the Lions, is because I think they're sick and tired of people saying that they're not that good of a team, that they need their coordinators, Jared Goff's this, Jared Goff's this. They want to prove that they're still a top team in the NFC, and this is the week that they do it. So we're going to go with the Lions. Again, I think it's a toss-up. I hate going with the Lions because both my quarterback on my fantasy team and my running back are Lamar and Derrick Henry, but just doing it based on what I think. So, boom! That was a video. That was 41 minutes. That was like an episode of TV because it is. This was Dill Talk Sports Week 3 NFL preview, the episode. So, love doing this, man. Set schedule. I'm going to try to start scheduling these to come out at a certain time every day. So, it's kind of like TV like you're watching. So, Dill Talk Sports, NFL, and college football preview this week. I think it's going to be an awesome week of sports, man. I'm really excited. Weather's getting colder, starting to get the hoodie weather, starting to get to, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, time to get boogie. But anyways, I appreciate everyone joining along. I love doing this. I love talking about it. Going to have a surprise guest to debate with soon and talk about sports with, which is going to be really awesome. Excited for that kind of step forward. But other than that, I appreciate everyone joining along. Continue doing you. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless. Build your dynasty. Deuces.